has been spotted. Let's see the changes. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. All right, everybody hear me? All up in the chats. How's it going, guys? What on earth are we doing? So, before we get to the big news, remember, this is a two-part-ish video. There's a full version and a condensed version, and this is the one that you're watching now. So yeah, if you want to see the other one, you can check the link in the description. Full version's Friday, condensed version Saturday, abracadabra. Let's take a look at the stock real quick before we get into the exciting news. So yeah, stock finished up a little, you know, and there's a lot of frustration out there. Oh, the stock is doing so badly. Oh, it's doing so badly. Is it though? 5-day, still up. 1 month, down by 0.5%. And remember, this is when Elon's been selling his millions of shares. Effectively, you know, has the same kind of market downward pressure as a funding round. 6 month, I mean, come on. 66% up. Year to date, 39%. 1 year, yeah, 66%. 5 year, I mean, let's not be greedy. So the big news today, as you may know, hello trees, as you may know, the Cybertruck has been spotted. This drone pilot, interestingly, is like, oh look, it's a Model S. What's this? Look at that. Why, if I didn't know better, I think that's a truck. And I do know better. It is a truck. It is the new and improved Cybertruck. There is still a poll on to say who, to determine who likes it better. Only 28% saying they like it worse so far. So get in on that poll. By the way, if you have thoughts and comments on this, pretty please leave them in the comments so we can chat about them at the end. Leave them in the chat. You know, if you put them in the comments, I can still respond to you later. You know what you're doing. So, let's talk about it real quick. Sawyer Merritt went ahead and grabbed these pictures. So let's look at them up close and spot the differences. So the first obvious difference is this blue tape. Gaffer tape is the best. No, I joke. So some big changes. Can you spot them? It has mirrors now, which is a requirement. It has a massive wiper blade. More of what I'm calling a wiper katana. Because that thing... Oh, I hope there's aftermarket ones because that looks like a $300 wiper blade. Also, the glass is now curved. Curved on the front, curved on the sides. And there is a practical reason for that. Flat glass blinds people. And if you have flat glass, someone will always, on a sunny day, have the sun directly on them. So, it is, you know, it is a necessity. It looked cool, whether or not it was. The hood appears a little bit shorter than before. The bed may look a little shorter. It looks a little shorter to me, but it could be that it tucks under and we just don't see as well. Not sure. Not sure. Bringing the size down a hair, I think would, well, it would improve cost for sure. It would improve weight for sure. And it might improve adoption among recreational users, weekend warriors. Yeah, you can see it's got a curve along the top as well. This part remains flat. That's fine. And the door handles are gone. And the hubcaps have been removed. I don't think that's an issue. All right. More pictures, more pictures. Let's keep going. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to say about this one. It appears that the sail storage did not come to pass. And I don't think that was critical. I think that was a neat design element, but I think the added complexity does not justify it. Yeah. Oh. MD Hofsty thinks that this is not a 40-inch wiper blade, but a pair of 20 inchers. That would not be unreasonable. That would not be unreasonable. You could get by with that. You could get by with that. Yeah, this shot, you can see the headlights have been moved down, which I think any car in front of you would appreciate. They may still have the LED, perhaps as a fog light or a showpiece. Tough to say, impossible really, but you can better see that the side windows are now indeed curved. That's really all you can see from that picture. And this is this is traditionally CyberTruck's, in my opinion, worst angle. And I think it looks slightly better from this angle. But from the front, I have to say, it looks more like a truck. This one gives the best impression, I think. That looks more like a truck than before. And I think that will also improve its popularity. Okay. Oh, who is this says, if it's two separate blades, it would leave a giant streak. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. So, some more news on this. Let's see here. CyberTruck, Elon's saying, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a Dogecoin enthusiast. CyberTruck can have any color you want so long as it's nothing. Because remember, the best paint is no paint. And if the last 3 years since the reveal has taught me anything, it's that the best CyberTruck is no CyberTruck. Manufacturers have to ship cars with side mirrors by law, but owners are allowed to modify their cars. So the early rumor was that it will have mirrors unless regulations on these things catch up. But they can make them easy to remove. They can make it so that it's easy to access the bolts on the inside, to customize in the way that makes sense to you, and they can have the camera set up there anyhow they want. The wiper is what troubles me most. No easy solution. Deployable wiper that stows in the front trunk would be ideal, but complex. When I made one of the, I don't remember which one now, one of the videos about addressing criticisms of the CyberTruck, one was that it didn't have mirrors, obviously, easy fix. Another was that it didn't have wiper blades, and there's no place for it. Well, we're finding that there kind of is no place for it, because that's a terrible solution, what we've got now, but maybe the only one. But I showed modifications to older cars, old Corvettes, I think, where the wiper tucked in under a little panel at the front of the hood. And that panel just pops up, and there's a blade under it, and it just goes away. Doesn't look like that is the solution that we will have. So you're saying there's a chance we're stuck with this massive wiper? Well, would you prefer a mini wiper? Okay, well, these jokes, you know, write themselves. Here is a side-by-side of the prototype versus the production model. This windshield was very big and very flat, and it's now more traditional. The hood does appear shorter. This area is now longer. You can see the glass used to end right at the back of the rear passenger window, and it now extends further. So that could mean that the bed is indeed longer and has a little overhang right here. Why they would do this? Don't know. Maybe to better facilitate the rolling tonneau cover? That's a possibility. What do you guys think? And this is, oh yeah, and the door handles are gone. I don't see door handles in the prototype, but we know that they were there. This is not a very high resolution picture. This is a screen capture from the unveiling event. Oh, the cardboard dash appears to also have been removed in favor of what appears to be a more traditional dashboard design. And up here is where you put all your McDonald's bags. Because that's classy. That's where you put your loose change. That way, when you stomp on it, you can have coins in your face. It's similar to making it rain, but with hail. So now we know from last week, initial production will be the 4-motor variant with independent, ultra-fast torque response, etc. And could it turn like a tank? Well, not just like a tank. It can drive diagonally, like a crab. Now, diagonal driving is pretty easy to understand. Imagine you could parallel park without having to turn the wheel, you know, and understand where your back axle is. You could just, you know, shimmy. And people were saying, well, tank turn? What if there was something better than a tank turn? One of my followers on Twitter sent me this super cool video. This is from 15 years ago. This is a prototype Jeep. Why can't you make that, Jeep? That's beautiful. If the wheels could turn that far, you could get a 0-point turn. Like that. You could do that on pavement without safety concerns. Now, you'd chew up your tires a little bit, but you could do it. And even if they don't turn that far, and I don't think they will turn that far, that was pretty extreme, you could still do some pretty good stuff. That's some pretty good stuff. So why don't we jump right in to the comments. By the way, a quick thank you to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, and ad-free experience, all that good stuff. And by the way, what I've been doing is, rather than re-uploading this whole thing in an ad-free format, I just go live without ads. So when you guys are watching this right now, there's no ads if you're watching it live. And then the condensed version will be on Patreon ad-free, if that's your preference. So, fun, and cool. I'm just going to put this on in the background. By the way, Chile Al 100, or AI 100. Not the best font for knowing the difference. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. So, yeah. Okay. This is true unless they have a touch of overlap, referring to the 20-inch windshield wipers. Even with overlap, you run the risk of having a streak. It's still run the risk. I don't know. The charger port has been moved to the wheel arch. Let's take a look at that. Do you mean there? Or in the wheel arch? Whoops. Well, I shall believe you. With all the hate the wiper is getting, I don't think it's going to happen. Well, it's a logistics problem. I guess you could have the hood. There's limits. There's challenges that make it difficult. There's limits. The blades could overlap, yes. I think the wiper extends when it goes across the window. Jeff is referring to there were Mercedes in the 80s and maybe early 90s that had a monoblade system where it would go across the windshield like this in an M. I know the 300E had it. I know the 190E had it. It was, I don't know why they got rid of it. I thought it was very cool. Maybe it was complicated or expensive. Those are all possibilities. I should remind viewers that I do not work for Mercedes-Benz. I work for you guys. Which reminds me, when's my vacation? Yeah, a 2x2 20-inch plates that overlaps. That could do the trick. That could do something. One of the pictures made it look as though it would impair the driver's ability to see to the side, visibility to the side, as in it would make the A-pillar slightly thicker by being partly obscured by this windshield wiper katana. It corrects the body. Does that mean the curved glass? Maybe that's the comment there. Maybe my Model Y Austin will share the Cybertruck's air suspension. What other technology do you anticipate that will be cutting edge? I've tried to think on this, and I have not come up with an answer. What technology will the Cybertruck have that we are not aware of? I don't know. Maybe a autonomous trailer hitching. What do you guys think? Boy, it looks more like a truck, doesn't it? I don't know. I do not dislike the new design. If it is any smaller, and to me it looks like it might even be a hair narrower. If it is any smaller, I'm gonna be excited because it's an awful big boy. It's an awful big boy. Oh, T-Legend, granted paid time off this Saturday. Thank you so much. So you're saying that once I get the condensed one done and uploaded, I can take a little time off. That'd be great. Thank you so much. Will Austin need a test track before production can start? Not a test track. Shanghai doesn't have a test track. It needs the thing we just saw a second ago. Just a little road with some bumpies on it and an area to turn around. It needs this bumpy section of road to make sure there are no rattles. That's all it needs. And considering it's mostly paved, this would go in very quickly. The extended roofline corrects the oblong look to the body. I gotta say, I like the glass for sure. I think it looks more real now. Elon called this CGI in real life, and I can see that. Yeah. Boy, I hope the tape is something that they get rid of. You know, it's out on the test track, man. Automatic boat unload. Johnny Monsters, that would be huge. That's going to be one of the first steps, I think, of true autonomous is automated loading and unloading. If it can drive when it leaves the warehouse, once it's done the little test loop to check for rattles, just hit load and it goes and parks itself in the logistics lot, even if it's a mile or 3 away. And then to load the ships, wouldn't it be great if instead of having a swarm of drivers, you just had a smaller number of guys who just lock the cars down, ratchet them into place? I think it would be a huge savings of time and manpower. And it's not like we're trying to get rid of jobs because they're expensive. Part of the reason to get rid of jobs, I mean, though they are, is because there's not enough workers to fill the jobs. Do I think there's a mid-size version in the pipeline of the Cybertruck? I have some very big thoughts on that. I think everything is going to go cyber if this works, because the cost savings are monumental and the time to production is vastly improved. Now, when you improve the throughput, that means you don't need to build as many factories. When they were able to increase charging speeds, that effectively made their existing charging network that much bigger. That made their stalls have higher capacity. I am working on a 11-year production model. You know how good my models are. Nobody beats me on predicting production. I hope to be accurate this quarter. You just never know. But I'm modeling it out 11 years based on Ultra Bear, Bear, Neutral, Bull, and Ultra Bull models. And they incorporate things like Model 2s, smaller trucks, all kinds of products, some that haven't even been announced. So, do I think there will be a smaller Cybertruck? Yes, I do. I don't know what year, but yes, I do. And good news for Patreons, the model's going to be updated frequently for you guys. There will probably be a camera behind the hitch for easy hookup of trailers. For sure. Well, I mean, you've already got the backup camera. That's already a little helpful. But why not just let it hook it up for you? Maybe. As much as I hate, yet want the original, this one looks worse. Something is just off about it. That's fair. I think, like the original, it may take some time to get used to. Everything about it is pretty different. I didn't mention they also removed the hubcaps. That's Neither here nor there. Robert says he likes the new look. It's been said that the tape has something to do with testing sensors. Oh, that could be. That could be. Still need a huge parking lot to park finished vehicles in Austin. You really don't. You really don't. This, hang tight, this is the extent of the logistics lot in Fremont. This is it. This. That's it. Oh, no, not even this. That's employees. This and this is the extent of the logistics lot. It's not very big. It's not very big. And they're always improving efficiency. Now, I've got a question for you. What's all this? What's all this? We waiting on chips? I think we're waiting on chips. So I don't think that's a deal breaker. And also the pavement goes in very quickly. Pavement goes in very quickly, especially asphalt. You can throw down an entire parking lot in 2 days. There are plenty of times when entire highways are shut down for repavement over a weekend. Now, mind you, they go in hot and heavy, but they're also paving a lot more. Someone will have to fix and look over the robots. Absolutely. And that's going to be a great job. We're going to get better jobs out of this. The autonomous future is not, in my opinion, something to be scared about just yet. And when we reach a point where so much is autonomous, I believe there will be ready mechanisms to tax them. If you were to tax a self-driving fleet of commercial vehicles at even a couple cents a mile, it would be enough to create a large works program for things like the arts. Wouldn't it be great if that truck driver, who can no longer be a truck driver because there's no truck driver jobs, got a grant from the federal government to make country music or folk music or art or poetry, or paid him to talk to old people who are very lonely and just need a friend. There are still jobs for humans. There are jobs that robots can't replace. There are, for example, talking to people who need someone. I don't want counseling from AI after a loss. I want counseling from a human. That's just me. Well, maybe it's just me. Robert says, looking at this video, the bed looks like it goes under the glass roof. I agree. I believe it does. That can limit the utility for hauling. That will limit the utility for hauling. But the market for pickups is vast and varied. And I don't think we will run out of customers before new variants are added. You don't need a large parking lot in Texas. You only need it in China, where you transport cars by ship, so you need a shipload at a time. Shanghai also has additional loading lots that they use from time to time that are closer to the port. But yes, if you're going to be doing batch shipments, you do need storage. Artists in Ireland don't pay taxes. That's fascinating, Johnny. Did you know that in Mexico, artists are allowed to pay their taxes with art? And as a result, they've got a lot of art. They've got, this Mexico City has like 150 museums. And in Mexico, all museums are free on Sundays. All of them. They're crowded. Don't go. But if museums were free when my kids were little, oh man, would we have gone every Sunday somewhere, I tell you. You have to be smart and trained to fix the robots and computers. What the rest of the folks are going to do is the question. Yeah, it is the question, and time will tell. I heard John Connor applied for Tesla's AI manager position. I don't know. I don't think he did. Last I heard, he was trying to get to the chopper. Only if the German government is willing to not be a huge pain in the butt with permitting. Yeah. From my understanding, Tesla is faring better than some other companies who have built factories, but that doesn't mean they're faring well. It's still something that they should work on. if they wish to see companies like Tesla move to Germany and Tesla specifically expand into phases 2 through 4 in Germany, which I'm confident they will. I'm done with humans. I want to go to Mars. That'd be cool, man. I would like to go myself. Would I? I don't know. If it was safe and not a one-way trip. I would love to see Mars. I don't want to leave my children as orphans. Your insight into future Tesla cars being cyber is right on. 25K Tesla DeLorean-like hatchback. I think it is. I think it is. So hope we get units down here in Australia for testing and in our climate. I think especially a long-range version would be helpful for places like that. Hope Tesla gets Herbert Deese. Yeah, Herbert has been pushed back a little in terms of his responsibilities by the old guard, who I'm confident don't get it. They don't get it. What do you think the product roadmap updates will be on the Q4 earnings call? Elon usually eschews products announcements on earnings calls. So I have some thoughts on that, but they're too involved to... What is that? But they're too involved to get into in this Q&A. It might be a whole video. We'll see, but there's a lot to cover there. Jeff thinks that Herbert Deese may be getting done with VW. Maybe. He's got more work to do. I'm confident he can fill his calendar until a better opportunity presents itself. Sled designs. I like the long bed. I like the CyberTruck, not the Cyber pickup. Too shorty Hummer-esque. Fair. And we'll know better when we can actually see it, especially in person, how we actually feel about it. What can't lasers do in the future? I'll take 3-foot wiper blade for now, though. There was an earlier comment. Thank you, Trent. There was an earlier comment about, I thought CyberTruck was going to use lasers. My understanding was that lasers were considered for clearing debris from the camera. Like if there was a dead bug on the windshield, it could clear it. The amount of energy necessary for a laser to clear a windshield would be absolutely prohibitive. Water requires vast amounts of energy to turn to steam. It would not be effective. And in a heavy downpour, it would be entirely useless. So that wouldn't be the solution there. We don't know what that laser patent was for exactly, but it wasn't for clearing it. The real solution is to put Rain-X on every couple days. Or every couple weeks, I guess, would be enough. VW doesn't deserve Deese at this point. Yeah, I don't know enough about the inner workings. JJE says, final thoughts on Sandy and Nikola. No final thoughts. It's not time for final thoughts. There's still several more installments in his series. Sandy's impressed with the vehicle. JJ had asked on another video, why aren't the Tesla channels covering Nikola more extensively now that they have operational trucks? And my answer to that would be lots of companies, 5 or 10, have operational battery electric semi-trucks. None of those are getting covered either. It's not super important, I guess, until either Tesla has its semi out or they're in mass production. So I don't know about that. I don't think it's necessarily relevant. I think most of the Tesla channels are focused on consumers rather than businesses. So I think that's why, another reason why there might be limited coverage. But we shall see. Lasers can't remove mud. That's right. If it's a mosquito, if it's a dead mosquito on the windshield, you can do that. Not if it's mud. Oh, that was quality. Yeah, let's do that. Betting on Austin putting out the first car. It looks like, based on permits alone, thank you, Jeff, for that comment. It looks like based on permits alone, Texas will win. Berlin was well poised. Joe Tetmeyer posted some fantastic coverage today of Giga Texas, where we can see whole test bodies in dumpsters that have been painted, fully assembled test bodies. No windows, but the body itself. There are scrap door panels and hoods and all that. Oh, hello, bear. That are in the dumpster, meaning we're getting it dialed in. Production is absolutely imminent, and we know test production has been underway for a while. Got a lot of heat for saying that last week and a half ago, but it is. We know it is. Any last questions before we go? Now that Bear's here, we gotta hurry up and pretend like we're not talking about him. And actually, we weren't talking about you, Bear, but we did talk about Nikola, because, of course, our good friend JJ is here. And for those who don't know how, Bear and I have a podcast every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific where we talk about all kinds of things EV, Nikola, Tesla, Lucid, Rivian. And it's so diverse, it covers so many brands, that I consistently lose subscribers over it. But I don't see it as losing subscribers so much as dialing in my audience. Today I made a video where I translated the entire recent video out of Giga Shanghai, where the interior was shown. I spent all night translating it, transcribing it, editing it. It's gotten fantastic reviews, and I lost 4 subscribers. I don't know, man. I don't know. Some people are impossible to please. By the way, oh, Sandy posted his final video in the series. Okay, JJ, my apologies. Thank you, MD, for telling me. I was not aware of that. I'll go and watch them. All 5 are out? Which means we're on to the plaid. I did see that announced. I'm excited about that. JJ is among my biggest fans, which I think is fantastic, because when you can have interaction with people who disagree with you while keeping it productive and civil, that's how you grow, man. That's how you grow. How did you translate the video, Do I Speak Mandarin? It was the most painful thing I've done. I used my little camera stand, and I put my phone on it, and I had it pointed at the screen with Google Translate. And a lot of it comes out gibberish, so you have to go one word at a time and go bit by bit to figure out, because different words can have multiple meanings. So it's kind of fun, and you end up having to understand the gist of the sentence rather than the sentence. So I went through pause, transcribe it all, make the titles, add the titles, go back, double check they're in the right spot, add the ones I somehow missed, remove the ones that I translated the same phrase twice differently. But the reviews I've gotten from a number of native Chinese viewers is that I did a pretty good job. So I'm quite pleased with that, because it was a fair amount of work. T-Legend. Out of all the Tesla channels, I like My Tesla Weekend the most. Truth be told, I've only been watching you for about 2 weeks versus 2 years for the rest. Thank you. I appreciate that. There are channels I used to really enjoy before I started doing this that I can't watch anymore because they're too casual and they're too late to the game with the news. And while I may appreciate their personalities, in some cases, they just don't give me what I need anymore. I will say, one channel that I can't believe is not more successful, Jordan Giesecke from The Limiting Factor. Man, he is the best. He is just the best. I was hoping to get him on for an interview, but he doesn't have time. He doesn't have time, and he's got a lot going on with the channel and with life. So maybe in the future. I do have friends who speak Mandarin. The problem is it was midnight when I started, and they are asleep because they live in the U.S. And that's a big ask for someone to transcribe a video of that length. It's a big ask. Yes, David R., thanks again for translating the video. You bet. You bet. I found it fascinating. They were not saying what I thought they were going to be saying. So that was very interesting. So yeah, T-Legend, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And thank you, JJ, for the super chat as well. Yeah, Jeff, The Limiting Factor is awesome. I showed it to my wife and my kids because they don't know what I do when I'm working. and I showed them, and they could not believe that anyone would watch a video about cathodes. They're not wrong. It's a dry topic, but folks like us, I don't know, we just can't get enough. And when someone's going to go into that kind of depth, you just got to reward them. Oh, I agree with you, who is this, but I'm not going to. Yeah. The limiting factor, I watch him whenever he releases those in-depth videos. I just find him great. And what a voice, too. Oh, I've had people criticize my voice. You don't have a voice. You don't have a face. You have a face for radio and a voice for silent films. Yeah, but that's what I was born with. So, you know, I can't swap it out. It's not an upgrade. Cathodes are so last week. All right, guys. Anything else we need to cover? I do wish to, again, thank my gracious Patreons who get all the good stuff and keep the channel going. Appreciate that. I did add the annual subscription option if anyone wants to save 10% on supporting me. It's an interesting idea. I'll try it. Why not? Yeah. Dry topic for dry electrodes. T-Legend. What did they expect? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Who is this? I am also not negative with them. I like them too. They definitely aren't timely. And there are other factors at play that I will not address. All right, guys. Well, if you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment below. What did I miss or misunderstand? Leave it below. Let me know. And in the meantime, my friends, you know what you got to do. You got to stay tuned. Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey. Stay juicy. Catch you on the flippity flop. Bear just said, any topic suggestions for next week? Yeah, I'll leave this stream open for another minute here. But you can also leave them in the comments. Is there anything you really want me and Bear to talk about on Tuesday? And by the way, the reason I pronounce it that way is because my grandma was very Irish. She moved to the States when she was 20, and when she died at 104, she still sounded like Mrs. Doubtfire. Because why would you hang out with people who aren't Irish? And yeah, she would say, oh, I got to go to church on Sunday. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. The English took the last two letters of the day. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy Friday, happy weekend. See you around.